Welcome to the Shake Up Podcast. I'm your host and co-founder of Mr. Consistent, Jared Bell. This is a podcast where we invite friends of the brand into our studio. We get to know their story a little bit better. We chat all things business, culture, and marketing, all while shaking up a few cocktails. On our very first episode of the Shake Up, we couldn't think of a better creator to have join us than Coco Loberg. Coco is an artist, tattoo artist, and all-round swaggy AF individual. We chat about going on tour as a tattoo artist and where her definitive style comes from. She lets us in on her love for travel, art, and the good times. This episode is an absolute ripper, so let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shake Up. Today in the studio, we have Coco Bonnie Loberg. Instagram handle, @Coco Loberg. For those following at home. Welcome to the studio.
Yeah, excited.
So stoked to have you in here. This is so
thanks
cool.
for having me, man.
One of our very first episodes. You are way cooler than I am, so I'm stoked to have you in here.
And that's the show.
We when we told all of our staff that you were coming in, like lots of our team obviously have artwork from you on their bodies, which is really cool. So they were all stoked, and you resonate with them, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's it.
But yeah, we here we want to get to know you a little bit and tell your story, and like you are very well traveled. Like very well traveled as a child.
Yeah.
Why? How did you end up here? Like, you're obviously born in Sweden, or where were you born?
Southport. A little Southport, baby.
Oh my God. Yeah. Southport.
Yeah, born in Southport.
What's it like? Your family, obviously, Loberg is Swedish.
Yeah. So I think Dad and his brothers were the first out of that family line to move out of Sweden. So that whole family line just kind of split off with Dad, and then he met Mum over here, and they met in Airlie Beach, I think, and then brought us up in Burleigh, and then we just kind of travelled around a lot because Dad always had different companies around, and was always travelling, so he just always took us with us, and first stop was London, I think. And then the States and Indonesia and a bit of India and then back here. We always came back here in between.
Yeah, gotcha.
So we don't really have any like deep family roots here or anything, but we just always love this area, so it feels like home.
Because your family's obviously really artistic, like that's pretty clear by what you do as work. You're an artist, you do studios, you do books, all those kind of things, which we'll get into later. But like, where does that come from? Is that from the family? Like your dad is an artist?
Yeah.
Like what's the story there? Because traveling and like you're very rich in like the way you work and your art and all those kind of things. Like, yeah.
Thank you.
But like, where does that come from?
So Mum and Dad are both insanely talented. They both have so many cool things under their belt. So just kind of like a bit from both of them. So Dad's a painter and a bunch of different stuff. And Mum always did leather and interior design and stuff like that. So all of their kind of stuff just kind of mushed in between all of us. And we always just kind of dabble in a bit of everything. But yeah.
What was the travel like that? Like, why so much travel as a kid? Like I've done lots of travel with my family and my little girl, but my wife's a buyer, so she goes and does, she was doing buying trips and all those kind of things. Like, there's specific role. Yeah. Like, obviously, you had some sort of specific role in a business or whatever. Like, the art was taking you guys all those places.
Yeah, it was whatever Dad was kind of. Mum and Dad always had businesses together, and it was just kind of like. So I think maybe it was started with Coco Jambo, which was like an advertising agency. Yeah. And that kind of took us a bunch of different places, and another company called Hire. It was just always their companies and where it would kind of like blow up somewhere, and we'd have to be in that country for it to help it grow. So I think it was Coco Jambo for. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I
won't hold you to it. We're not going to fact check you.
No, but yeah, so it was just kind of like always their companies with that were just taking us everywhere. And then it was Gavera for India. And that one was crazy. That was a weird trip. I was like 16 or 17, I think. And to me, my brothers were kind of still in school, but not really. Like, they were a bit out of school. I was still in school, and we just moved to India and like
homeschooling, like at that stage, or
yeah, it was supposed to be, but we just kind of took like I think it was like 4 or 5 months to just like travel and just like stayed in Mumbai, and then just kind of got to go to like Indian weddings and stuff with like our friends over there. That's and stuff. So it was crazy. It's like a football field for a wedding. It was crazy, like so many people.
That's so rad.
But yeah, just heaps of experiences and stuff. And Dad kind of always has believed in like, you don't have to necessarily get all the education just from schooling. Like you get a lot from traveling. So
Absolutely,
we always take us out in between. And
culture is so important. Like learning other
definitely.
people's cultures.
Yeah, 100%.
So why? What? You obviously you were born here, so that's why you gravitated back to here, because you've got brothers and sisters lots of brothers and sisters, I should say. You're one of 6.
Yeah.
Like you obviously gravitated back to the Gold Coast and back to Burleigh. Why?
I don't know. I honestly,
Really?
I really don't know. I think it's because, I was born in Southport Hospital, but like grew up in like Burleigh when I was younger. And I think that's where like the little family started.
Yeah.
So I think we always come back to this area. It's beautiful.
Feels like
it's so
home.
nice. Yeah. And like I was saying, even though we don't have deep family roots here or anything, it's just kind of such a chill spot to just kind of like go in between, because before COVID we were always traveling so much. Like to just be able to come back and have such a relaxed lifestyle here was just perfect.
How does it
Such a
feel
cool
like
spot.
obviously not being able to travel at all
So
for somebody who's like
weird.
so well traveled?
I just love weird little adventures and just like going wherever. I just love I get antsy if I'm in one spot for too long. So I really, really like traveling. So it was really weird for the first couple of months or like 6 months or something. But then after that, I think because I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything because I couldn't travel, I felt like everyone was trapped. So I was like, okay, I just got to get over it. I'm not missing out. Like I physically can't go anywhere. So it actually helped so much because I finished my book, finished that gallery and got that up and running. Finished like a bunch of projects that were just kind of like sitting on the back burner because
Gave you time.
yeah, every time I had time off, I was like, oh, I want to go see my friends here or go check this place out or something. And then would never get to those things. It was just dragging on for years. And
It's
I
exactly
finally,
what this business is like.
Yeah,
that was
it's
like
great.
literally we're like, oh, we had the product, we had the most people know the backstory, but we had the product, we had the, we had the brand, we had the recipes, we had everything, but we're like, none of us had time to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever. So we're just like, all right, COVID's here. Like, I've lost all my marketing work. Jeremy sold his restaurant. Mikey's not working because he works behind a bar. There's no bars open. Let's go for it. And like so many people either took the opportunity to get things done that they couldn't get done, or they never had the time for it. Like it's so like obviously this bag was in the gallery, which is awesome.
Thank you.
Which you can explain that to me later on.
Yeah.
But we're getting low tide here, so we're gonna do the speed test.
We'll top up.
Absolutely. So you're gonna make what do you want to make? Another Sales? Or you want to make Cosmo?
Let's try Cosmo. I haven't tried the Cosmo.
Cosmo?
Yeah,
right,
let's
do
try
a
that.
Cosmo.
That sounds great.
So you're going to make it 75 mils of mix, 45 mils of booze, and Kirsten, I'm going to deal with Kirsten that if you beat me, if you can beat my time, then I'll get shit that's fresh. You can tattoo shit
100%.
that's fresh. Shit
Neck
that's
tat?
fresh. I don't know about the neck.
Sideburns every time he like
Be on
shaves
the
it down
arm
here.
somewhere like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But if you can beat,
Yes.
you don't want to hairy ass. You don't do that. no one wants to do that. But yeah, let's do the speed test. And if you can beat me, I'll make a deal.
All right, let's do this. I'm keen.
75 mils of mix, 45 mils of the booze. So to the top of the jigger with the juice, 45 mils of gin, second line down. Give it 5 shakes. Yeah, 45 mils. Put it all in the tin, strain it out with the strainer, put the strainer on top of the tin, and then drop some fruit in. So Kirsten's obviously giving you some tips to try and beat me, so she can try and get me a tattoo. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Ice all. Go! Don't stop. Oh, it's a heavy pour. That was closer to 60 mils. To the top. Dump it in. We're at 13 seconds. You got to shake. Put the ice. Put the top on top. Boom. Shake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pop it open. Give it a pop. Get it. Crack it. Gotta whack it. I'm safe here. 23 seconds. Do you need to phone a friend here?
Yes.
I told you. There you go. Strain it out. 34 seconds. You're still probably going to beat Mikey at this rate. There we go. Put the fruit in. There you go. Never made a Mr. Consistent cocktail. 41 seconds. Not bad.
It's not great.
It's not great, but I'm not getting a fucking tattoo.
Yes, yeah. How do we rig this? How does it taste? Oh, Parson and Belsy, well done. That's like a tattoo.
Where's the pen? Someone get me the pen.
Tastes good though.
It's delicious.
That
Noosa gin's awesome too. They're really good. But the Cosmo's it's not sweet and it's like nice and tart. So
it's nice. It looks beautiful.
Does look beautiful. Double fruit too.
Really gutted about the tattoo.
That takes 10 seconds off double fruit.
Double fruit.
Yeah, it
yes.
does. I read that somewhere.
She's still at 31.
Dude.
Drink up.
Surely he just gets the tattoo anyway.
I think so.
I reckon. Yeah. Someone has to.
Shit, that's fresh. We'll see. I've always wanted one, but I've always been too scared. Actually, your writing's probably cooler than mine. Do you want to do the writing?
No, dude.
Hey, look.
You're a rematch.
Four. What's that?
What the?
For now.
Fourth for now. Trust me, there's people that do not
Wait, how
finish.
many people are on that wall? Four people?
Yeah.
That was like out of 10. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's so hard to open those things.
I might have a Cosmo. Well, we got Cosmo open, please.
Yeah.
Reset. There we go.
We're still filming.
Yeah.
What was
Amazing.
yours?
Mine was, what was I, Tommy? 22?
22.54.
I'm the reigning
What?
champ, though.
What? I didn't cut it in half. I feel like 20 seconds of mine went to opening that.
100%.
fiasco.
That's why I tried. That's why I gave you the opportunity.
I tried. I did all your little.
And the secret is not to put the shaker down and whack it. It's just to hold it in your hand and just crack the shit out of it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how I'm the reigning champ. Surely someone's going to come on here and beat me. I hope they do anyway.
This week's episode is sponsored by you guys. Without your ongoing loyalty and support with the Mr. Consistent community, we wouldn't be able to run this podcast. So a big shout out and a thanks to you guys. Now back to the episode.
Anyway, let's get back to it. You living in LA, how long were you living in LA for?
I think it was a year
How long ago?
when I was 14, 15.
14.
15.
And then obviously you guys came back and you guys have a studio down in Kingscliff?
Yeah,
Is that a family studio? Like
Yeah.
dad, mum, sort of?
Yeah,
Your-
so dad and his brother started the studio like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we had one in Woolgoolga as well. And we
Where's
had one in
Woolgoolga?
Coffs Harbour, like
Yep.
just outside of there.
Okay,
It's just a
yep.
little beach town.
Yep.
But they went to school there when they were younger and stuff, so their mum's there and got a
Yeah.
little bit of family there, so it's kind of like a little hometown, second hometown.
Yeah, cool.
But that one's cool. We had one in Murwillumbah for a while, but got rid of that one.
Yeah.
It was a little bit rowdy out there.
It is.
got very rowdy
That's
out
where
there.
our first. Oh yeah, you mic. Pull it down for us a little bit. Talk it. Make love, Barry Watson.
Hello.
Is there anybody? That's where our first. That's where our first kitchen was. It's a cool little country town. Like it's got lots
Yeah.
going on. It's like a cool little scene out there. But yeah, it is definitely a rowdy little town.
It's super rowdy. We just yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. No, it was a good shop while it lasted.
So you're
but yeah.
living here, living on the Goldie, working out of Kingscliff.
Yeah.
Like, you obviously, like we were chatting off air before, but you like with the tattoos, you kind of just, you open up bookings for 2-3 weeks or 1 to 2 months, and you kind of just let people book out, so you got a bit of freedom and you can work how you want to. Work how you want to work. And,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I think
like a creepy
honestly
hand coming in
it's
from
stage
the hand.
But I think that's the one thing that makes you chill with like working harder or overtime or whatever, is just knowing that because I only block it out in months at a time, I don't have that thing in my head where I'm like, well, I have to be here for this long, or like I've got that many things to get through. Like I feel like that's the strain.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, it's like it's so fun. Like I love tattooing so much.
Like you're more an artist than a tattooist, if you will.
Yeah,
Like, you feel like-
yeah.
Do you ever feel like there's a time where you're like, oh, I'm just so sick of tattooing. I want to go make a bag. I want to go do a painting. I want to do something else, and that's kind of giving you the freedom to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely. So it's I think that's kind of what I did with when I was able to travel and stuff as well, is I would have those breaks in between just so I could like go experience some weird shit and then write from that and paint from that or do whatever and just get a little break from tattooing. And then if I ran out of money over there, I'd do a little bit of tattooing and then bring it back in.
Yeah.
But like it was, I don't know, it's such a cool tool to travel with, but it's nice having breaks in between because I'm not just a tattoo artist.
Yeah. And you do lots of, like you say, you do lots of traveling tattooing.
Yeah.
Like you do I know you've done some stuff for like Princess Polly. And some other brands you've done stuff for, and then you've traveled like doing the Harley Davidson thing.
Oh, that was a crazy trip. That was insane. That was wild.
Did you actually like ride around, like on motorbike, ride around with everyone, then just tattoo?
Yeah, so we had a group of us. So we had like a couple of skaters and then like musicians, and we all just had like
Just
a Harley
bunch of
each.
misfits just
Yeah,
riding
just
around.
like rowdy crowd and a bunch of Harleys, and then we had 2 cars with all the equipment.
Yeah.
So I was in the car and I was doing the photography and the journal
Yeah,
writings.
okay.
It was just so wild. We would just pull up wherever and just kind of like drink and sleep and camp and stuff, and then just keep riding. And it was just literally just mayhem for like 2 weeks of just riding and partying. Like, it was great. But we had galleries in between. So one of the artists, Dirt Squid, he had a gallery in Melbourne and then one in Gold Coast.
Yep.
So it was the ride from Melbourne to Gold Coast.
Coast.
But yeah, it was just menace in between, but
That's so
great on
cool.
either end. Yeah, it
So you
was
do
cool.
photography, you obviously do paintings, all those kind of things. You've done books.
Yeah.
Like what? You were going to bring your books in, but you guys forgot.
I literally, as soon as Kirsten actually asked me to bring them in, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just keep them at the front door so I don't forget them. Halfway here, I'm like, oh my God, how? I forget everything. I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah.
Because Kirsten told me like you did a photography book on mouse, like
Yeah.
Spit or something. It was
That was
called.
the
It
first
like
book I ever made.
What's
Um,
what's the fascination with mouse?
I don't know. It was I don't know, I think I was like 17 or 18 or something, and it was just my first solo photography kind of. I don't know. I don't even know. I
Had
just
an
started
idea and you
taking
just rolled with
photos
it.
of my friends' mouths, and then just had this kind of cool idea of making a whole book about it and just get it as gross as I could.
Like we're
and
talking
it's
like
like-
open chewing. Like what are we talking?
Yeah,
about?
like nasty, like really nasty. Like it was bad. I actually was looking through it not too long ago. Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough
Yeah.
book, but I just really liked it. Just the concept of having like a really short, what's the word I'm looking for? Depth of field.
Yeah.
And then just getting like all the tiny little lines around the mouth and stuff, and then like whatever liquid they had, or like
Yeah, right.
like hooking up or anything. Like it was just like super gruesome but cool. Like I just really liked it, and I just kind
Me
of
and Tom, when we used to DJ, we used to film like dance floor pashies.
oh
like people-
rough.
People used to have this like weird, and everyone was like, "These are so good." Just watching people pash on the dance floor. I was like, "I don't get it, but okay, whatever."
It's so good. It's just so it was definitely just like super intimate and weird, but I liked it.
Absolutely.
But
That's
yeah.
so cool. What are the other books you've done? Because there's like,
So that one was the first one. I think that was 17, and then
Yeah.
when I was 19 or 18, I did my first solo trip because I've always traveled with my family,
Yeah.
but for the first time I traveled out to New York by myself and lived there for a couple of months, and it was just a
coolest city in the world. I got married in New
Oh.
York. It is amazing.
It's ridiculous. I love it so much. It's so cool. And there's like even like upstate New York and everything as
Yeah.
well. Like it's so beautiful. I love it there. But yeah, so I went out there and had the shittest fake ID ever. And I'm like 18, running around the city by myself. Like I couldn't get in anywhere. I couldn't
Yeah.
actually drink. But I think because I was by myself and I had an accent, no one actually ever carded me.
yeah.
But just in case, like I had this like it literally looked like a piece of cardboard with like
What's
a
that?
sandwich bag stapled around it and my age written in crayon. Like it was so bad. It was so bad. But it got me in through a few places, which is cool. And then I just kind of the book was about just that, just being like underage and just not underage, but just being like coming of age in a city by yourself. And it was just like a little novella.
That's book number 2.
Yeah, and then book 3 was a poetry book that I just actually released. So I didn't release any of those other 2.
Yeah.
I released this poetry book just this year or last year.
Got the flower on the front?
Yeah, Mercy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one.
And it's just like an accumulation of all my poems and drawings and stuff
All
over
your
the
drawings
past
and
couple
stuff.
of
Because
years.
your Instagram is so, like, it's so cool. Like, I go
Thank
on there,
you.
you get in, like, you know, when you go into somebody's Instagram, you end up in a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You're like, I end up in a rabbit hole on your Instagram. Like, when Kirsten sent it through, I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is so cool. Like,
Oh,
and,
thank
and
you,
I've
I
seen
appreciate
your
it.
stuff previously when, like, when I've just been scrolling or somebody tags you when they've just got a new tattoo or something like that.
Mm.
And that's when I always end up in a rabbit hole and you're like, so freaking cool.
Oh, thank you, dude. I appreciate
That's
that.
awesome.
Thank you.
What, like, I guess the tattooing is one part of what you do, and then you've just done a gallery, which is you've done a bunch of different medias, like the bag. Obviously, you did the paintings. Tell us how, like you were saying to me before, like your dad did the metal work, your mum did the leather work, or like that bag is so rad. Like, and there was
Thank
another
you.
one.
Yeah, this one was this is one of my favorite pieces. So Mum did all the leather work and kind of like hand stitched that whole thing. Like, there's not a bit of computer work on there at all. Like it's just all hand stitched.
That's
She's
so cool.
insane with her hands. And then Dad did the metal work through here and all these little bits. And then I just did the painting with
The
some leather
painting,
paint.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And you're like, does your family collab on different art pieces all the time,
Yeah.
or like instead of turning the TV on, do you guys just start painting together, or
so Dad and my brother Connor actually just finished building a Triumph together, like a little motorbike
Stop it.
together.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So it's just kind of like little projects here and there. And then Dad also works on a bunch of VR stuff with my other brother, Jamaica. And they just, whatever our common interests are, we usually collaborate on stuff together.
That's so
and
cool.
then me and Mum are doing like a bunch more of these, like to order and stuff. So, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Have you had any like obviously like traveling and tattooing, like the Harley Davidson thing, working with a company like that, and then you travel with Alice in Wonderland, like as a personal tattoo artist, like what does that look like? Are you just like after a show, she's like gets the crowd numbers tattooed on her, or like what? How does that work? Like a personal tattoo artist, like just
she just has a really cool crew around her. She's such a cool woman. She just it's so funny. Like she'll have like her own little like caravan or like green room or whatever behind her show.
You're just in there.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there with a needle ready. No, she's very precise with her time. No, I'm kidding. She just has like her whole crew there. So she'll have like her like camera people or just like her manager, and really lovely manager back then. I don't know if they're still there, but yeah, I don't know. She'll just have her whole like team out the back, and they'll all be chilling and just kind of like drinking and whatnot, and then we'll just kind of like sit around and tattoo each other, I guess. I don't know. It's just super relaxed, super casual.
Like a paid gig? Like, is that a legit like?
So she's actually an old family friend. So she that one was just kind of like a friend thing, and she like brought me on a tour and stuff. So I was like super grateful. Like it was so much fun.
And away we go.
Yeah, she had like this cool little caravan out the back of her show. But it's so funny seeing someone like just absolutely relax and chill, just like in that environment. You're all just drawing and just hanging out, and then she goes onto this stage and just has thousands of people just like
she blew up hard.
Oh,
she's
so good at it. Like she just gets the crowd insane, and she's just such a small woman.
She's
she's so
rocket,
little.
eh?
Like she's so little, and she's so lovely, and she just I don't know. Her presence is so cool on the stage. Like to watch her side and then just go back to a normal like chill.
You're so cool about the whole thing. Like going on tour with that, like doing like all those things. Has there been any like you're obviously cool? Has there any been like pinch me moments, like where like
definitely all the time.
Holy shit! Like I can't believe I'm sitting here. I'm tattooing this person, or I'm here with this person, or like has there been
definitely.
Any of those?
There's definitely been like a lot of rowdy like scenarios like that where I get so nervous in those situations. Anyway, I think most tattoo artists before they are about to tattoo someone get quite nervous, and then when it's in an environment like that where there's like quite a bit of pressure, additional pressure, you're already like quite nervous, so you're not really thinking about it, and then when you leave you're like, oh, what just happened? Like it's just like so weird. It's so weird, but yeah, it's there's been some really, really cool experiences. I actually did a Coachella party one year, and it ended up finishing at like 5 a.m. And then I was with a bunch of friends, and we all slept in the car for like 2 hours outside the front. And then
for like a brand or for a person, or is it like a?
It was Bella Thorne's. She had like a pre-Coachella party, and she had this crazy house, just
those Coachella houses.
Like little cabanas everywhere and shit. Like it was really cool. Her and her sister are so lovely as well, like super, super lovely. And they just had like this really cool party going on. And she was like, oh, like come do some little tattoos. And they had a really cool crew as well. But then after that, me and my friends kind of just went straight from there to the snowfields and just like skied. So it's just like weird stuff like that, like in between. I don't know. It's just like, it's so fun being over there. I love it.
It's so cool. It feels like your artwork just like leads you in like to different places, into different people, and you meet people, and then you go elsewhere with the people you just met. Like, is that kind of how it rolls out?
Yeah. It gets, I don't know. Yeah. There's so many different weird scenarios that it just kind of like pulls you into, and it's awesome. Like you don't always have the same kind of jobs, and then also doing different stuff like videography and stuff like that as well. Yeah. There's just so many different kind of ventures. I actually love doing photography and stuff as well, like in journal writing and doing like photo series and stuff like that. I got to do like a bunch with a company called Paddy. So it's just like they get like groups of like girls doing wild shit.
Yeah, right.
And then just take them. We did a trip like in this old 90s limo, and then just like rode across America in it, and then just skated and surfed and did whatever we wanted for like 2 weeks in this limo, and then tattooed on the sides and wrote, and it was crazy. It was sick.
That's
But I
so
love
cool.
that kind of stuff. So it's like all mixes together and you get different kind of parts out of it.
Do
Yeah.
you feel like you want to do your own thing like that? Like, do you get into a point, like, I don't know, I feel like in Australia you might have the pull to be able to pull something off like that yourself. Like,
I
rent
just
an old limo and go do that across
Oh,
Australia,
yeah,
or
yeah.
like, and just like do pop-up parties and pop-up like tattoo, like galleries or something like that.
yeah,
or,
that
like,
I would love to. I love that kind of stuff so much. Getting those like teams together and just spending like 2 weeks with like such a cool
Yeah.
group is, I don't know, there's something else about it. It's like super nice. I love doing that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Anything else you're working on? Like you were like, now that the gallery's done and dusted, and
I'm working on a second series of paintings at the moment. I'm just kind of like trying to find a ground in
Yeah.
there. And then also working on another poetry book, just slowly kind of like collecting stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
is it Instagram like when you go through your Instagram, is like, are they the drawings and stuff? Because you put up illustrations, you put up tattoos on people. Are the drawing stuff you're like want to give people, or they're just things that you just doodle and you're like, I like that, I'm going to chuck it up on Instagram?
Yeah,
Or is
I
like,
just-
is it,
yeah, it's a bit of everything. So if I'm like either I don't know, it's just kind of like a mix of just influences of just like either movies that I've watched
Yeah.
that I like, or like songs that I'm listening to, or like a scenario that I'm in with like the partner or whatever,
Yeah.
like just anything. It just kind of like whatever mood I'm in, I'll just do a little drawing or a little bit of writing
Yeah.
and then just put it up there. Some of it makes it into like the books and
Yeah.
stuff, and then some of it's just literally just to put up.
your style is like obviously like iconic to you. Like there's not many people out there that do a style like you have, and that's
Oh,
what's
thank you.
made you so popular.
Thank you.
Like I as I said, I get caught in a wormhole in your Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you get people coming in like, oh, you did this on that person, can I have it? And what's the rules around like that? Because like
Yeah,
for somebody who doesn't
so-
have any tattoos, like I would, but I've got to a point where in my life where I like drawing, I like illustrating, I do all those kind of things. I would be like, oh, I want something like this. I wouldn't want something anybody else has.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
But like, I imagine there's people out there like, I want this that person has.
Yeah, it's funny. I get a lot of my clientele are quite young, so a lot of people come in asking for the same stuff.
Yeah.
And then you talk them through it and you're like, look, I can't. It's insane for me to just start stamping everyone with the same stamp,
Yeah.
especially when someone else got it personally for them and you
Yeah,
just happen
yeah.
to like the same design. And they're usually like, oh, that's fine. Like, that's so chill. I didn't even think about that. That's
Yeah.
fine. And it usually goes fine. And then you'll get the few in between. And I hate confrontation. Like, I hate confrontation. So you'll get the few in between that are just teenage girls, man. They're so ballsy.
Oh, yeah,
So
they're-
ballsy. And they'll come in and they'll just be like, but I've driven all this way. And I'm like, I don't know what to say, man. I can't do this. Like, especially if it's like someone like a like celebrity or something,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
asking for the exact same as them. I'm like, I'm gonna get dragged if I do that. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to disrespect that person. I also don't want to get dragged on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
There's a
I'm not
fine
gonna do
line
it, yeah.
of being like an artist, like artist and a tattoo artist,
And then a
versus-
printer.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
then like you walk into a shop. I feel like a lot's a like I don't know what your gallery down there, like the tattoo studios like
Yeah.
down there, but like you walk into most tattoo shops and it's like there's just loads and loads of stuff they've done on a wall.
Flash.
Yeah, and it feels like they're shopping for a tattoo
Yeah,
versus like
yeah.
something
A
that's
unique
like,
design.
Yeah, unique to them or something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
It's like Southern Cross or whatever. Like Tom's got a Southern Cross over here.
We don't talk about
Drag him into.
He's
It's
got,
hidden.
he's got Southern Cross. But like people get it and then like they're shopping for a tattoo because they like I don't know what reason I would just never do it. But then as a tattoo artist, like I feel like I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, because there's two different parts of it, and it's like a lot of people just like it for the sake of liking it, which is sick. Like,
Yeah.
get whatever you want on you, but if someone's got a unique design, you're trying to take it from them. That's super unfair on
Yeah.
that person.
Like
And
if
so
it's
I-
Mickey Mouse or something, I get it.
Yeah, exactly. If it's something you really can't change too much, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
There's like so much leeway on that. If it's someone else's design, hard no. If it's something unique that I've done on someone else, hard no. And
Yep.
when you try and explain that, like a girl tried to bully me into doing it.
Stop
and I'm like,
it.
and I'm sitting there and I'm like, it was like late at night as well. She got like the last session. And I'm sitting there by myself in this studio. And she's like, you have to do this. Like, I've come all this way. I've paid a deposit and everything. Like, you have to do this. And I'm like, I was so shy and nervous, like sitting next to her. She got like a little posse of friends there.
That camera's gone off.
She
But
got,
yeah.
she got a little posse of friends there. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to be bullied into this. And she's like, oh, I'm not trying to bully you. And I'm like, no, you are. You're standing like above me, like telling me what to do. And it just got so awkward that we ended up doing something completely different. And then after that, I was like, all right, I just have to like put my foot down. Like, because there's been a lot of times where I've been like wishy-washy about it. like in my earlier days. And then I was just like, nah, it's so unfair for someone that's like put all this time into their design and then for someone else to just.
Yeah. And like, it's your time as well. You know, that's what they're paying for is your creativity. If I'm booking in with Coco, like I want your style. I want to work on you with something. They kind of don't really get that. Like from a artistic point of view, they're just like, I just want that. And it's like, well, that's not how it fucking works.
Exactly. And it's like, it sucks. There's like definitely some people that try and push it and get weird about it, but the rest of them are usually actually really chill about it.
Where does your style come from? Because like it's obviously like thin line tattoo, or like how do you tattoo? Where's the style come from? Like, is there? Because it's pretty specific. Like it's so specific. Like as somebody who does art, like you're very specific in how it looks and how it feels and all those kind of like it makes you feel a certain way. When you look at your work.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. I honestly, because I'd always done.
As I said, it's very specific. It's very like, how do I explain? It's like specific to you. Like you have a certain style. It's really thin. It's really beautiful. It's pretty. It's like when somebody puts it on, like it makes people feel special when they put it on their skin. It's not just a giant, you're not just whacking a big sticker on somebody.
Whacking. Come here.
Where's it come from?
It's so because I've always done realism ever since I was like a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, as close as realism as you could get as a kid. I don't know. I always did that, and because tattooing was already in the family, everyone was like, "Well, when are you gonna start? Like, are you gonna actually do tattooing?" And I was like, "No, I just didn't like. I didn't see my style as tattoos, and I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." And then I would just go ham on these canvases where I was just like doing whatever, and I would just keep ruining them. And so I got to a point where I was like, all right, this actually costs a lot, so I'm gonna have to like take my time with it. So I would do like a little drawing beforehand, like a sketch, and then a more detailed one, and then do the canvas instead of just wasting it.
It gets expensive.
Yeah, and I was just like wasting it like it was nothing. And then when I got older and like had to start paying for them myself, I was like, oh, like this sucks. So I like started doing it in like little bits like that, and then I started really liking the original sketches and like just kind of like weird little simple kind of drawings instead of that big realism stuff. And then I started playing around with that style for a while before I even started tattooing. And it got a little bit of traction. And I was like, oh, I actually really like this style just for like stickers and shirts and stuff like that and just like random little doodles. I don't know. I just really liked it. And then I was like, all right, I could actually do this as tattoos. Like I would like to do this because it's stuff that I would get on me. Yeah. Whereas I wouldn't have gotten like a big realism piece on myself. I wouldn't like to do that as tattoos. So I was like.
Big portrait.
Yeah. And I was like, it's a big, huge Doberman portrait. And yeah, so I just kind of started playing around with it, and then I really liked it, and I realized that you could travel with it and you could just be your own kind of thing. Yeah. And I was like, cool, let's do it, and just kind of rolled with it.
Do you do like stick and poke kind of stuff?
No, I've never. So the first tattoo I actually ever did was in my kitchen with one of my friends, and it was with a sewing needle.
I feel like that's most how people say.
It was so bad. I used pen ink.
Oh my God.
Pen ink with a sewing needle and a little thread to keep the ink on the end of the needle. I probably shouldn't go into depth about this, people. That's not how you do it. No, but it's like it was.
Go get a tetanus shot.
It was so bad. Like I was using like full on pen ink, and that shit's poisonous.
Australia or what? Like,
yeah. So it was just in my kitchen. I was like 17, I think, was one of my friends, and we were just like tattooing.
House party
Thank
or something?
God,
like...
no, it was just me and her in my kitchen
on
a random night.
Hey. Feel like a
sewing
needle tattoo.
But we just did them.
Trust me, my dad's a tattoo artist. I'm good.
I'm good. Oh, it was super ratchet. I don't know why that happened, but it did. And after that, I just kind of started playing with like actual machines and stuff, and then really liked it, so stuck with it.
What's your dad, like your dad's style and your uncle's style? Like, are they?
Dad doesn't actually tattoo. He just like started the shop with my uncle. Yeah. He does it for like a little bit of fun here and there, on me or my brothers or our friends or whatever, or himself.
Doesn't actually like book out
appointments. No, he doesn't. He's never actually worked as a tattoo artist. He's just been like running the shops and stuff like that.
Businessman.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, the business side of it. And then my uncle does kind of like a little bit of everything, really. Yeah. Jack of all trades, as a kind of tattoo artist used to be. Like how they kind of just did a bit of everything. Yeah. There was no like honed in style. Yeah. Well, I mean, there was, but like they just kind of like did everything. Walk-ins were so much more common, as they're not really now. People like search for their artists and travel for their artists.
Yeah, it feels like the tattoo industry's become a little bit more, the artist is a little bit more specific versus like a late night drunk. I'm going to go get a
smiley face on my
I mean,
arse.
those are great as well. I have so many of those. My feet are like playing grounds for my friends. Like they can do whatever they want on my feet. So I just got like super weird scribbles on my feet.
Socks on them.
Yeah, I never take my socks off. I never take my. No one's ever seen my feet. No, no, they just got real weird scribbles on there. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny. It's really cool that people just get to like kind of hone in on their own style now, and people travel for it. People travel so much for their own artists now.
So many friends do that. Like they just love certain artists. They'll walk in and be like, I don't know, create me something.
Yeah.
And
there's so much trust.
Let the artist be the artist and trust them. And that's when you get something really cool and personal that at the end of the day, like that's what makes it cool.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly. And there's that whole like kind of, like you're saying, little bond between them in between that where they get to make shit together.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being like, give me that off the wall, which is still like, it is what it is. Like,
what came first? Painting, drawing, writing? Obviously, tattooing was towards the end. You've been tattooing.
Tattooing was the first.
6 years. You've been tattooing for like 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
In 24, so you started.
I started when I was like 19 or 18. 18 or 19. Yeah. Yeah. I think the first thing, I actually just found a photo of me the other day, where I was like 4 or 5, and I'm sitting there with a pen in my hand, just like solid grip on it, just going ham at this piece of paper. So I think I've always drawn ever since I was little. I remember writing when I was really young. It was just like weird little stories. Yeah, I never really like thought much of it. I thought it was just something to do. And then I started really getting into writing in my like mid to late teens.
That's so cool. Like my daughter loves drawing. Like she just constantly she's like always got a pen. We go out to dinner. She's just like, I need to bring my pens. I need to bring my book
that's
and
awesome.
stuff like that. It's like encouraging that creativity is so cool at that young age because it like I've grown up to be like like the brand director of this business, but like artwork and all those kind of things is what makes people feel something about something and like get them emotionally invested into a brand or a business or whatever it is. And like people obviously are emotionally invested into what you do as a tattoo artist. And like you've got, you've still got paintings for sale from the gallery. You've got like, are you going to sell because I know you made another bag. Are you going to sell the other bag or is it like?
I'll definitely sell the other bag before I sell this one.
Keeping this one.
I love this one so much.
It's so cool.
I had it in my head for so long that I wanted to make it. And then we finally made it happen. So I'm like attached to this bag.
It's so
but
cool.
We're definitely doing like bags to order and then little back there.
The camera's on. It's like all custom. So sick.
Yeah, I was super stoked at that one. Mum did a crazy job on that.
What'd you use to paint the leather?
Just leather paint.
Leather paint.
Yeah. Someone actually asked me on the night. They were like,
"Did you stencil that, or is that by hand?"
By hand.
That's fucking insane.
But
like it's so.
Someone asked me on the night. They were like, "Posca pen?" I'm like, "What the? I just spent all this time with a paintbrush."
How dare you? Mate, it is like that's amazing. Like it is so clear. Like it's obviously like leather's textured and stuff.
Yeah, so it's got that weird kind of texture under it, which I was like actually bummed out about at the first because it was really hard to get those straight lines, but I like the texture. I think
it's perfect.
Thank you. Appreciate
so rad. Can you make me a bum bag? I'm joking.
Leather bum bag, real tight.
I'd have a wallet. It's so cool.
Thank you.
And
so much.
Your mum, what's your mum do? She jeweler, bag maker, like what's
her
for her to be able to like obviously hand sew, cut, all that kind of stuff. She obviously does some sort of craftsmanship.
She just randomly started it like a couple of years ago now and just kind of like has been teaching herself and like watching online courses and stuff like that and like going to like little things, but just randomly kind of went with it and she's crushing it. Like she's so, I don't know, she makes some really cool stuff.
So cool.
And she makes cool like silverware and stuff as well.
Are there any of her rings on your fingers?
No, I'm such a shit daughter. I know. I could do some damage.
You had a couple on there.
No, Mum makes some like solid ones like this, but like way more chunky. But
are any of those meaningful? Like you've obviously got a bunch of stuff on there. You don't have your mum's stuff on. So
this is Mum's old ring that she gave to me. This is one of my best friends gave me this.
So cool. It's huge.
I love this one. It gets caught on everything.
Yeah, I imagine it
like everything. People's jaws and like
whack down at Cooley Hotel or something.
That's the grounds that would happen for sure. No, yeah, these are all just like little collected pieces along the way.
So cool.
Random stuff.
What do you do? Like obviously you do tattooing, you do art. What do you do outside of those two things? Like we've touched on heaps of that, but like what do you do outside of that? Like what else is there?
Drink Mr. Consistent.
Drink
heavily.
heaps.
No, I don't know. I really like reading. I love movies.
What kind
I
of
don't
stuff do you
just
read?
My favorite writer is definitely Scott Fitzgerald. I don't know.
idea.
I like Gatsby
Yeah,
and like
okay, gotcha.
Tender as the Night
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. Like Tender as the Night is one of my favorite books. And I don't know. I just really like how he's like I don't know. It's like poetry in between,
Yeah.
like just like normal stuff. I like Bukowski as well. Bukowski's great. But yeah, I don't know. Just a little bit of anything. I just kind of like.
Like surf, skate, like any of those things still, or like is it all just
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, I took men in books. I'm like, I don't know.
no.
No, yeah, I do. I definitely skate. I'm like in between cars right now, so I'm like trying to find an old Lincoln
Yeah, right.
Continental. If any of you,
If anyone,
if anyone
if anyone's
has
got a Lincoln for sale,
Continental,
I've got to buy.
please.
I'll only take 10%
Dude.
commission.
But I'm just like trying to find one of those. So I'm like in between cars, and I'm just like skating everywhere at the moment. It's so easy. I live like in Burleigh, so I can just literally skate everywhere on those little penny boards.
Oh yeah.
And they're so small, so you can just like pick it up and go straight into a bar and like sit it next to you, and it's like not
So good.
like it's so chill.
What-
But the other day I was skating, I just like really hurt my back the other day, so I had to take a day off and like have a massage. I come out of the masseuse and I'm like fresh, and I'm like just skating along. Wheel comes off.
Stop it.
And I'm like, so I don't have a car or a skateboard now. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. It's rough, man.
Just walking.
It's rough. just a walking woman.
Where's like you're obviously living in Burleigh. What's your bar? There's lots of cool bars and restaurants around there. What do you?
Rosella's is great.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
isn't
such a
it?
cool little
Such
spot.
a
Little
good
Alf
bar.
Stewart in the toilets.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's insane. You sit in there and you're like, this is actually great.
Yeah, it's such a cool bar. Like it's been a while. Like obviously the culture of the Gold Coast is for a long time there it lacked thereof.
Oh,
of
100%,
culture,
yeah.
and it feels like places like Dust Temple where you've just had like they're really embracing culture.
Yeah, Dust Temple is amazing. I love
Such
that
a cool
spot.
space.
Yeah.
Like it is. Everything in that whole building is like custom made, custom built. Like I've done a charity event there, Empty Bowls, and like we did like a giant long pottery table with actually Tom, who's recording this podcast, his mum. She's a potter, and we filled the whole place with bowls, and
Sick.
everyone pays like $100, and you come in and you get to choose a how do you say it? Bespoke bowl from a local potter or potters
Yeah.
around Australia. Get to choose one, and then like local cafes come in, they serve you up dinner, and then the money goes to like the homeless around
That's
the Gold Coast.
sick.
Like,
That's awesome.
They do such cool stuff there, like, and it feels like a venue that is
Yeah.
creating culture and creating
Oh,
stuff on the
100%,
Gold Coast,
yeah.
because that's like, and especially like bars like Rosella's.
Yeah.
There's Lockwood. There's all those really cool, like even Justin Lane, like all the everyone's going to the pub, but Justin Lane's still creating that, that cool culture. They've still
Yeah.
got that music culture going on. There's a bit of music culture going on at the pub, but then all the little like, what's the other bars in Nobbies? We got
Split.
Split.
Split actually reminds me a lot of like I don't know, like
like-
downtown LA.
Absolutely.
Like it's like, and especially with that big billboard, I'm like,
Yeah.
it just reminds me of like
went
I
in
really
there.
like that
I
spot.
met the owner the other week, and I went in there, and he's like, "Yeah, we've got like a secondhand clothing thing opening up behind the reception girl. When you walk up the stairs just before you get to the disco ball, there's like a little booth." And he's like, "Yeah, you can just like go buy a t-shirt in there and stuff." And they do heaps of drag stuff, and
Sick.
they're doing really cool things up there. Like
Yeah.
they just want to do galleries, they want to
Mm.
do parties, they just want to do really cool stuff, because I feel like the Gold Coast has lacked a little bit of culture. But now
Yeah.
that everyone, all the really cool people that were overseas have had to come home,
Yeah.
they're
Oh
all
yeah,
doing
you're
cool
right.
stuff
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Like it's popping off here, I feel like.
Yeah, there's so many cool little spots opening up. It's unreal.
What's
and
your
just,
favorite dinner spot?
Oh, that's tough. Do you know what? There's a really good little proper Italian spot. I can't even remember. Stone Mill.
Where's
And
it?
so it's
Where
like
is
in
it?
Burleigh, and you know where that old petrol station was, right in the middle of Burleigh?
Like out the back?
No, like
On the highway.
yeah, the one on the highway.
Oh,
It's like right near Pab.
Oh yeah, right.
It's like right near Pab. So on that opposite road, there's like this little Italian spot, and it's just so cozy and like
Yeah,
proper
right.
Italian food, and it's just I don't know, there's something about it. I just love it, and everyone's Italian in there. It's like
Where Crush used to be.
I don't know.
Across like where Swell is.
Yeah. It's called Stone Mill.
Yeah, right.
And it's this cozy
Really?
little spot. It's so warm in there. Everyone's just like huddled in, eating their little food and drinking wine. Like it's great.
That's
I love it.
sick.
It's
I
really
never
nice
knew it
little
was there.
spot.
There you go. I'm gonna have to go try it.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
So you worked on the TV series.
Yeah,
Like,
okay,
what-
so so I
Where was it to start with?
in the States.
Yeah, okay.
So one of my friends, when I first moved out to the States, I had no friends. Like me and my brothers had no friends out there, obviously, because we just moved to this
Yeah.
new city and we didn't know anyone. We went to Hollywood High for like a couple of days and no one would speak to us. Like,
Just brushing you.
yeah, it was
Even
weird.
the
Everyone
odd-
had their cliques and like,
Even though the accent couldn't get you across the
no,
line.
I was like, come on, man. Like, no one would speak to us. And then there was like this one girl that like spoke to me in class. She was really nice. But other than that, like, I don't know, it was like scarce, man. Like, it was hard to get friends out there. So we
Explain
left.
what the Hive is to people.
To the what?
What is this? The high? What do you
Hollywood
call it?
High.
Yeah. What is it?
It's a high school.
Yeah. Right.
So I went to like
So you went to high
actual
school there,
Hollywood
yeah, yeah.
High, like there,
Gotcha.
because you could only go in your area code.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you lived in Hollywood, you have to
Yeah.
go to that school. If you lived in
gotcha.
wherever, you had to go to that school,
Okay.
and you weren't allowed to go to other area codes, which is so weird. But whatever.
Unless private school, like you could pay to get like a. or
I don't know.
that
It was super weird. Like we genuinely just couldn't go to another school.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
so we were like me and my brothers just refused.
Oh well, we're going here.
Yeah, we just refused to start showing up after that because it was just awkward at school. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know, it was just really weird. Anyway, so we stopped going, and then I randomly met one of my best friends now over there. He was playing a show, and we just randomly met afterwards and started hanging out. And he was like successful as like a kid in movies and whatnot. And then he went through like this weird stage where he was like growing into a man, but still very much. He's gonna hate me for saying this. He's like quite short, and he went through this like weird phase where he was like a teenager, but because he'd been shaving since he was so young
Yeah.
for the movies and stuff, he had like a beard,
Oh,
but he was
man.
still so short because he was a
Short.
teenager
Yeah,
and
man
like
child.
yeah, it's a full like weird in between mix, and he wasn't like getting many roles at that point. And so me and him would like always joke about it, and then we got really drunk one night and we were just like talking shit about it and like laughing about it, and then we were like, let's write a show about that. Like, it's funny, like you've hit like a midlife crisis, but you're only 19. Like you can't get like he wasn't getting roles and stuff, so we were like, let's write a show about
You're
that.
a
Like you're like
successful kid actor, and now you're just
down and out at 19. Like it's insane. Yeah.
Because you got a beard.
You got a beard and you look like you're 12. Like it's so wild. And so I wrote this whole script about that, basically, kind of like a soft, like one of my favorite shows is Eastbound and Down.
Yeah.
Like that is like my all time. I love that show so much. So it was kind of just like a down and out kind of thing, but for like a child star or
Yep.
whatever. And maybe I'm giving this away too much, but anyway, so we wrote that and then just filmed it over like a couple of months while I was there. And we had no money at this point. Like we're like 18, 19, like
Yeah.
no money. We had like a budget each day of like $15 for like a case of beers between us, a pack of cigarettes, and like a Starbucks.
Saving your tuck shop money for.
Literally, like we would have like our breakfast was like a little like Starbucks muffin, and then we'd all have like a case of beers for the rest of the day and like a pack of cigarettes to share, and that was it. That was all we had, and we had like our camera gear that we already had, so we didn't really have to spend money on that. Everything else was like. I was like duct taping my camera to the front bonnet to like try and get these like nice smooth shots and stuff. Like we had to like, what's great about LA is
Giant gimbal.
like literally like, and it was just actually me in the back. Like we had to film this shot where he's like riding his bike towards the thing, and it's just me hanging out the back of this car and the boot's open, and I'm dangling, driving up this hill. So I'm like dangling out of the car. One of the other girls has got her arms around me from the back seat,
Stop
strapping
it.
me in, and I'm like dangling out of this car, like just trying to film him. And everything was just like super makeshift like that. But it was so fun because everything that we did was so ratchet and ridiculous that it would just give us more to write about.
Yeah,
like just
yeah.
how stupid it was.
Next
that
to
like,
next to next.
yeah, like we didn't have, like everything that we were doing was just like turning into the actual show. So
Yeah.
it was like we were living the show. And we just like filmed that for ages. And
Did you put it out anywhere?
no,
Have you still got-
I've still got
you
it.
still got
I've
it?
still got it. It's sitting in my like
Surely
camera
this is
roll,
like a YouTube series or something.
I
that's
want
like-
to, like, it's something I really want to bring out, and like I have like a script for it and everything. Like I want to bring it out. I think it would be a really funny show. It was just so hilarious because it was him, and it was
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
I don't
Is
know.
he still like? Is he Like, has he got?
Yeah, he's doing
got
cool.
past the man-child stage now.
Yeah,
He's,
yeah,
like,
he's doing.
getting roles
He's
again.
like focusing on his music career now, but
Yeah,
he's
right.
like, he's doing some really cool shit now. But he
I'm glad he grew into his beard.
yeah, it was so great. That was the funniest like phase, and just yeah, that whole experience is great. It was just, like so much fun. I love doing that kind of stuff, and it's so cool in that area. Why I love traveling back and forth around that area so much is because everyone's like wants to be doing stuff. So you wake up in the morning and there's always something on, like your friend's doing a video shoot here,
Yeah.
or someone's doing like something on the other side of the town. You're always creating.
LA is
and
like literally a hive of creativity.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause everyone's there trying to
hustle
make it or
and
do
make stuff,
something.
yeah.
Like no one's got any money and everyone's just trying to make shit happen.
and it's funny.
yeah.
It's so funny watching people like scramble together to get things done when they don't have money. Like when we were doing all that, like just the amount of stories that we got from not having money and just like
Yeah.
trying to scrape shit together was like so funny.
Makes you realize how hard shit is.
Yeah,
right?
it really is. And just like, I don't know, I love that kind of stuff. I love that struggle. It's so fun.
That's so cool. I hope you put it out. Like that'd be
I do want to bring it out.
some sort of like YouTube series
Yeah.
or something. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, I definitely got to scratch up on my film.
Editing.
Yeah.
Need someone to edit for you. Kirsten's worked really hard on a podcast or a game that is wrapped around the clap clap. It's called the Shake Up, and we're doing it's the first card game we're going to release. It's a Never Have I Ever pack. This is just a sample pack that we've done,
Sick.
but I'm not going to show you the cards. So you're going to choose one. So it's a pack of cards. Anyway, they're all Never Have I Ever questions. We wanted to create something that you could, come like tell a funny story. And the whole idea, what have we got the rules here? How to decide who begins. The last person to shake up a Mr. Consistent cocktail draws the first card. So that's definitely you because I won. You didn't beat my time.
Oh.
Shots
bringing that
fired.
back, buddy.
Shots fired. And then here we go. Where are we? Players must go ahead. Best story to earn a card. Honesty is the best policy after all. This is a winner's game. So you got to draw a card, and if you've got a story about it, you got to tell it. And if I've got a story about it, I've got to tell it. So I'm going to let you choose the card. I've selected a few cards out of here because it was like, have you regretted a tattoo and stuff like that? I feel like you haven't regretted a tattoo, even though you may have. That we spoke about off air. But you get to choose a card. Oh, what do we got in here? Yeah, there's some good shit in here. Choose a
All right,
card.
do I just pick
yeah,
one?
yeah, just got to pick one. And then you read it out. And then hopefully you got a story.
Oh, damn.
You
I had a
gotta
paranormal experience.
Have you?
No.
Haven't you?
I wish. Actually,
Pick.
yeah, let's.
Pick again. I've never had a paranormal
No, so
experience.
it's-
Like that's so far from my wheelhouse of,
Wheelhouse.
of things that I believe in.
Regifted something I didn't like. No, I haven't.
You haven't?
Nah. Damn, I'm not doing good at this.
Nah. Let's choose another card.
Purposely giving out a fake number. I actually did that once
Yeah, we talking.
and accidentally gave my actual number.
Oh, stop it!
And
You
so I
forgot
went
to
to give
change
them-
the one number.
So me and my brother had a really similar number when we were younger. And I think I went to give him. Okay, the worst part about this as well is Dad was standing right next to me.
Stop it.
And this guy comes over to me and he's like asking for my number. I'm like, oh my God, do I cut this guy off and say this is my. I don't know. It was just like really awkward. And it was just like, I don't know. The whole scenario was super weird. And I was like, fuck, I'm just going to give this guy like my brother's number because
Yeah.
it's so close to mine. I won't stutter or anything.
Yeah.
And I think I ended up switching it up at the end and accidentally gave him mine.
Stop it.
And then he could message me.
He called you? Did he
No,
call?
he was just like messaging me, but
Yeah, right.
and that's my actual fiance. Yeah, but it's actually not that great of a story too. Upon reflection,
Upon reflection.
it's actually a shit story.
But you fucked up.
And here
You
we
should
are.
have given the wrong
Yeah.
number. Oh, man. There was, do you know the Pines shopping centre?
Yeah.
I was like, I would have been like 16. And I was with some mates and we're in his car and he's got like this giant bull bar in his car, like old shitty Subaru. And he reversed out and he scraped the whole side of the car. And somebody saw it happen and I was like, they were like, you need to leave your number. I was like, yep. So I like wrote my number down on a piece of paper. I didn't even do the scratching. I was like, I just got out of the car and pretended to write a number down. Obviously not the right number because I was 16 and absolutely shitting myself. He just got his license and I just had my license sitting in his car. Like, holy shit, we just scratched the shit out of the side of his car. Written down a fake number, put it under, so sorry, call me for my insurance details, blah, blah, here's my number. Put it under the windscreen. Somebody saw me that knew me through school, like a mum that like I went to school with her daughter, saw me put the number under there, saw me scratch the car. Anyway, I obviously put the wrong number on there. Monday morning rolls around. This was like on a Saturday or something. Monday morning rolls around. Jared Bell, can you please come to the principal's office? And she'd gone to the school and told him and like gone back into the Pines, told the centre manager, they put it over the car, a few registrations, blah, blah, blah. Please come see us at centre management, blah, blah, blah. And they've like given my details. I didn't even it wasn't even me doing the driving. I just got out and obviously written the fake number. I was just like, this is just going to be easy. And that ended up getting taken to the principal's office. And then they're like, who did it? And I was like, fucking he did. He did it. I was like, so I dropped my mate in and I was like, I'm not paying for this shit. I didn't reverse into his car. And then so the next minute over the school bell. Oh, Jesse, I won't say his last name. Please come to the principal's office. So he's got pulled in. We're both sitting in the principal's office and they're like, righto, what happened, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, yeah, I reversed into the car, blah, blah. Jared put a fake number there. Principal's like, rightio, 5 afternoon school detentions for you for doing the wrong thing, blah, blah, you shouldn't do that. And then he got the same as what I got. So we both got treated the same, but then he had to pay for the car.
Oh,
and it was like a Land Cruiser or something sick. Like it was like a Prado or whatever it was. So it was like, I think it would have cost him like $2,000 or something, being on your P's and insurance or whatever. Yeah, it would have cost.
No, dude, I don't think I ever had any like accidents or anything like that when I was younger, luckily. But that is whack. $2,000 when you're in high school is insane.
So much money.
So much money.
I was like teetering on being a good, bad kid. Like I was like I'm like in front of my friends, I'm like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. You get in trouble, you're like, I was fucking him. Every time. Every damn time.
What else is on those cards?
What else is on these cards?
What are the other ones that we didn't pick?
Oh, have a quick shuffle. There's some cool stuff in here. I'll give you a couple. There you go. Cried in order to get your way. Yes.
By accident. I'd actually, this was during COVID. You know how they had the roadblocks in between the borders? Because I was going so often back and forth between the borders. This one time I didn't have my license on me and actually I didn't know it. I thought it was in the car and I just didn't have it in my bag. Anyway, I get pulled over. No, sorry, let me start that again. Too many sours. So I'm driving home and I've forgotten to print out the thing to put on the front shield. And I'm like,
everyone.
Yeah. And I'm like, shit. And I'm like coming up to the thing. And I'm like, I'll just pull it up on my phone. So I have it on my phone. And he's like, oh, I actually just need to check your license. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, you guys have never done that before. And he's like, yeah, like people have been lying or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't have my license on me. And I'm starting like looking through the car. I'm like, am I about to get charged for not like driving without a license? And so I'm like looking through the car and I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I don't have my license on me. I know this looks rough, but I just honestly forgot it. I'm just coming back from work. And he's like, oh, that's right. I'll just run your plates. And I'm like, thank you so much. And he comes back to the car and he goes, I'm going to need you to get out of the car. And I was like,
oh, shit.
I was like, what? And he's like, this car's been out of registration for 8 months. And I'm like, what? I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, you're leaving the car here tonight. And I'm like, how am I going to get home? And he's like, well, you're going to have to call someone. So I had to get like an Uber or my parents or something from like the side of the highway. And I just started, so the guy comes up to the car while I'm sitting there waiting for my parents. And he's like, you know, this is actually supposed to be a court date. So I'm going to start like, and starts like writing something up and I just lose it. I just can't, I'm not even like on purpose. I'm just like, everything's hit me at once. I don't have my license. I don't have the pass. My car's out of registration. Like, this looks insane. And I just start crying. And this guy's like, oh, it's okay though. Like, I won't. It's all good. And then just like backs off. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I just like got in the car and left. And he never charged me. Like, never got charged for any of that. Like, so nice.
What a good dude.
But then towed my car and I had to get it from Brisbane. So
one
that
of the days of rego stickers. Every time.
Oh no, it's
shit.
It's wild. It's rough.
What else? What have we got in here? Being catfished?
No.
Being a catfish?
No, because I've never done like online dating or anything. Gone on a date to get a free meal? You have?
don't think so. Nah, actually, I lie. My wife now, there was a period of time in my life where she paid for every meal. I lost my job, and she was like,
what a good woman.
she was like, I'm gonna. It wasn't like an agreement, but like I didn't obviously have an income, so she paid for everything for like a fair whack of time. I think it was
That's
like 6
so
to 9
good.
months. Yeah,
That's so
Like
good.
I had casual work. I didn't have much money, and she always forked the bill. So that was
Hell
nice of her.
yeah.
We've been married now for like 5 years. 5 years this year.
That's sick. 5 years.
Snuck into a concert. I feel like you get invited to concerts.
Oh, I've snuck into a fair share. That's actually you know what? I'm not really a festival person. I like bars and like live music and bars and stuff. I don't like festivals because of how you just can't really leave. Do you know what I mean? You can't be like, oh, I'm just going to quickly dip somewhere else. Like you're stuck there. I just don't like that feeling.
Lots of people squashed into
Jumping though is fun because it's like an adventure. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this on camera.
I've been there.
Yeah, maybe I just won't say which ones. Yeah, I won't say which ones. But yeah, I think that's so fun. Like the adrenaline of like trying not to get caught, and you got like a 2-second window to get in without the security seeing
you got to go for it, eh? And then they come chasing.
Yeah,
that's the
fun.
thrill.
That's fun.
I love seeing the videos when they get caught on the vent, like they get caught on the fence.
Oh, I almost got caught on the fence. I got my shirt like caught, and I was like, no! And I like wrangled myself out of it and got through. Everyone claps you through as well. So
yeah.
So good. Beer spraying. It's great. Gone through my partner's phone without them knowing.
I do it often.
Oh!
Yeah, I did the other day because I walked into the bathroom and I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, nothing. Do it. Like she like was real abrupt.
Oh.
I'm like, something's going on here. And then she was like messaging a mate of mine, but it was like she's buying cryptocurrency. But she didn't want me to know that she was buying cryptocurrency. She's like, but she'd lost it. So she'd bought some.
Sus about it, nothing.
She was like so sus on it. Anyway, she bought some and like a mate of mine, he's got a bit of it and he's like moves it around a little bit, not much. But she'd bought some and moved it, but lost it.
No.
In the transition period. And that's why she was like, I caught her right on the high stress vibes.
No.
She couldn't locate it. It was so funny. But like
and so you're like, that's a fair reason to go through
both of us
something.
have nothing to hide, but like it's pretty funny in terms of like
and finding that out. You're like,
so I was like, something's up here. Like, what's she doing? She's either like buying something she shouldn't, like buying a dress or something that she shouldn't, or she's like, anyway, she's buying cryptocurrency.
cheated death.
I'd say giving a tattoo with a sewing needle. Cheating death.
No, that
on
was
my
tame.
health radar.
That was tame, sort of.
Yeah, there's heaps of fun cards in here. Hopefully the card game's going to be out. Probably, what do you reckon, Kirsten? Another couple of weeks, probably 3-4 weeks. Be online. MrConsistent.com. You'll be able to buy the card game. Drink a couple sours. Drink a couple Cosmos. Ask your friends some weird questions. Join the Mile High Club. You've done lots of traveling.
Not that kind of traveling yet.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming in. This has been awesome. It's fun. I've loved chatting to you. Like,
thank you for having me.
You obviously making waves in the art industry on the Gold Coast, Australia-wide.
Thank you.
You have a very specific style. I love your work, so I reckon you can take my tattoo virginity.
Yes!
Honestly, I love your style. So thank you so much for coming in. We really
Thanks for having me.
appreciate it. We love it. So cheers.
Sick,
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have another one after this off camera. What do you reckon?
Yes. Let's go.
Carl's staying at work.
That's today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Go show the Shake Up some love and stay connected. Don't forget you can watch all of our episodes on YouTube. Also, jump over to our Shake Up Cocktail Gang Facebook page where you can find out who's coming up on the podcast. And if you've got questions for them, I'll ask the bloody questions. You can also use the code SHAKEUP for 10% off on mrconsistent.com.au. Thank you so much for listening. And just remember, shit that's fresh.